Hi, I'm Tom Lydon here in Washington, D.C. at the Charles Schwab Investment Conference with Jon de St, who's President and Head of Product Strategy at Charles Schwab Investment Management. Great seeing you, Jon.
Thanks for having me, Tom. It's great seeing you.
Well, congratulations on another great conference. I understand there are record numbers, and record number of advisors, and record number of ETF enthusiasts that are here.
Definitely. There are 5,000 advisors, and we know that almost every single one of them uses ETFs in some way in their portfolios.
You talk to advisors all the time. You survey them all the time. Walk through some of the current trends that you're seeing, especially pertaining to ETFs.
Well, it's interesting. In CSIM, we always say we are focused on serving our clients' biggest needs. Not our biggest areas of interest, but our clients' biggest needs. And if we want to do that, we want to be able to serve those, do them at scale, and pass through the benefit of that scale through really compelling pricing. But the first part of that formula is knowing what advisors are looking for. So we recently reached out to about 400 of them and asked them what they're really looking for. And 62% of them told us that the core of their portfolio is the most important thing that they're focused on.
Okay.
In fact, 40% of them told us 70 to 100% of their clients' portfolios should actually be held in core investments, which really helps us focus our energies on identifying what is the core of their portfolio and really serving that.
And when you talk about core, give us an idea of asset allocation in ETFs versus mutual funds, especially taking into account current flows.
Well, it's interesting. What we see in current flows, of course, is passive is winning, and within passive, the ETFs are winning. A large majority of the flows, certainly that we see within our business, are in those core categories. What we find really interesting is over the course of 2018, as we've seen increased volatility, and certainly in the last week, we might see some variation in what the flows are coming into. International developed markets versus emerging, small cap versus large, based on that advisor's view. But those are allocations among the core, rather than assets leaving the core.
Understand. Okay. So, other things that you found out is not all advisors are created equal. Yep. They tackle the market differently. Some tend to be a little long in the tooth, like me. Some are young and energetic. Walk through that, and what are some of the things that you find?
Well, it's interesting. We see two distinct trends that come out in some of this research. One is that the younger advisors and the younger clients really see ETFs as an even bigger part of their portfolio than the population of advisors at large. We actually see 90% of millennials tell us that ETFs are a critical part of their portfolio. What's interesting is we also see today, roughly 50% of the advisors we talk to use all ETF or all mutual fund portfolios. But 77 to 78% told us they anticipate using all ETF or all fund portfolios in the future.
Yeah.
So clearly, the adoption rate and the usage of ETFs is increasing.
Another trend that's not slowing down. What can you say about technology adoption among advisors, not only younger versus older, but men and women?
Well, I think it's fascinating. I think you nailed it. One of the trends we're seeing a lot, and we're hearing a lot of advisors and even clients talk to us about, is how do I embrace technology rather than seeing it as a competitor? A robo offer that's out there shouldn't be seen as a threat if I, as an advisor, have a great value proposition, a deep relationship with my client, and I'm able to spend time with them. In fact, that technology, really successful, and a lot of the younger advisors are embracing that technology as a way to free up their time to spend more time with clients, help them more with their planning and that value-added work, and we're really seeing that pick up. And one interesting nuance that we've seen in our research, I mentioned how many of the advisors are looking to use model portfolios or all ETF portfolios. We actually see a lot of the female advisors that we've heard from have a slight, even higher preponderance or likelihood of using those portfolios. And our sense is a lot of those advisors are actually taking advantage of that free time to deepen relationships with their clients, which is so meaningful for both.
Makes so much sense. Okay, well finally, although you've done all this study and you open up your platform to virtually all the ETFs that are out there, you yourself, Charles Schwab, is the number 5 as far as the list of issuers regarding assets. And that's not slowing down anytime soon either. I know you're creeping up there to looking at number 4. What might we expect from Charles Schwab in the future as far as future ETFs that you might bring to market?
That's a great question, and it really does tie with what we were just talking about with some of that research. We couldn't be more pleased to be number 5 in the industry right now with over 125 billion in ETFs within our lineup. And the research that we've just done with advisors tells us that the formula that we have, asking our clients and the advisors in particular what they really need, and developing ways to serve those needs at great scale, reducing our own costs, and then passing that benefit not to ourselves, but to the end investors. That really tells us, and our growth tells us, that's a winning formula, and it's definitely one we're continuing to focus on.
Excellent. Well, Jon, I enjoyed it, learned a lot. Again, congratulations, great conference.
Great, thank you. Thanks for having me.